Welcome back. As usual, we have a word. Today we'll have some architecture, along with history, birthdays, a song, and a quote. So grab your favorite cuppa, sit back, and let's check it out. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for July 10th. July 10th is the 191st day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 192nd in leap years, with 174 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is mausoleum. Mausoleum is a noun that refers to a freestanding, often grand, and architecturally significant building constructed as a monument, typically used to house the remains of important or wealthy individuals, often above ground. A magnificent tomb, a tomb for more than one person. The word mausoleum may also refer to a large, gloomy, and usually ornate building, room, or structure. Example sentences could include, "The royal family was buried in a marble mausoleum at the edge of the city," or, "We walked quietly through the cemetery until we reached the mausoleum, its doors sealed with ornate ironwork," or, "The Taj Mahal is perhaps the most famous mausoleum in the world." By the way, the plural form of this word can be mausoleums or mausolea. Notable mausoleums include the Taj Mahal in India, Lenin's mausoleum in Russia, and Grant's tomb in the USA. The word mausoleum comes to us from the mausoleum at Halicarnassus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It was the monumental tomb of an ancient Persian governor named Mausolus, who died in 353 BC. The name mausoleum became so associated with grand tombs that mausoleum came to describe any large, elaborate tomb. First known use of the word mausoleum is in the 1400s. Mausoleum. And with that, whenever I hear the name Hadrian, I think of Hadrian's Wall, built across the island of Great Britain, marking the northern limit of Britannia. There's certainly more to that story. But Hadrian also rebuilt the Pantheon and constructed the vast temple of Venus in Roma, commissioned grand structures in Athens, and constructed Hadrian's Villa, a massive and elegant retreat blending architecture from across the empire. Hadrian admired Greek culture and promoted Athens as the cultural capital of the empire. Hadrian inherited a sprawling empire, but was less interested in expanding Rome's borders and more interested in consolidation, strengthening and securing Rome's borders. Indeed, Hadrian's Wall symbolizes this shift, marking the boundary of Roman influence and guarding against external threats. They built that wall to create a border. Emperor Hadrian died on July 10th in the year 138 of heart failure. He was buried in Rome in the tomb of Hadrian next to his late wife, Vibia Sabina. Hadrian was 62 at the time of his passing. The city of Dublin, Ireland is considered to have been founded on July 10th in the year 988. The area had actually been occupied since before the Roman invasion of Britain, and it appeared in Ptolemy's Guide to Geography in the year 140. The first verifiable settlement came with the Vikings in about 831. They called it Dyflin, after what the Irish called it, which was Dublin, which means dark pool or black pool, after a dark tidal pool nearby. The reason it's considered to be founded in 988 instead of 831 or even earlier is because that's the year that King Mael Seshnal MacDomnail reclaimed the city for Ireland and started collecting taxes. Millard Filmore was sworn in as the 13th U.S. president on July 10, 1850, the day after becoming president when Zachary Taylor died, as I believe we may have discussed yesterday. This is the birthday of Serbian-American physicist and engineer Nikola Tesla, born July 10, 1856. He's best known and widely admired for his work with alternating current. He also loved to feed and care for pigeons. Late one night, he took out for a walk, as he did probably every day by that point, and was hit by a cab and thrown to the ground while crossing the street. He had probably a lifelong habit of not going to the doctor, and that's what he did this time, not go to the doctor. Pretty sure he suffered some broken ribs and a wrenched back from that accident. He was 81 when it happened, and he suffered from it for the rest of his life. That happened in the fall of 1937, and a little over 5 years later, in January of 1943, Nikola Tesla died alone in his room, most likely of a heart attack. He was 86 at the time of his passing. Wyoming was admitted as the 44th U.S. state on July 10, 1890. Today's song is Don't You Want Me by the Human League, number 1 on July 10, 1982. The song was released in November of 1981, so it took a little longer to hit the number 1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 than some of the other songs we've talked about so far, but it was the biggest selling UK single of 1981 and was Human League's most commercially successful song. Interestingly, Don't You Want Me almost didn't make it as a single. The group had already had 3 singles released in 1981, and lead singer Philip Oakey felt that the public were sick of hearing from the band, and he didn't like the way the song had been produced. He felt it was a little too poppy and that it would wreck the group's newfound popularity. The record company prevailed, though, and the song was released as a single. It shot to the top of the UK charts. I imagine the music video helped further its popularity, especially in the U.S., where MTV was a new thing. Don't You Want Me by Human League, number 1, July 10th, 1982. Link in the description. Now, today's quote is from Canadian-American architect and designer Frank Gehry, who said, "Architecture should speak of its time and place, but yearn for timelessness." Frank Gehry. And just a reminder that I'm working on some things coming up, and I'd like the input of you, my viewers. So I'm going to do a live on Saturday, July 12th. If you're watching this from the future, we're talking about 2025. I am in the Central Time Zone, so that'll be noon Eastern, which will be 11 Central, 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific, and 8 Alaska and Hawaii. Alrighty, y'all take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlists in the description. You can find me on BitChute, Facebook, Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, and X, as well as on a blog page called No Really. All those links are in the description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.